Okay, so if you're someone out there who's, tried pretty much every diet, you're measuring everything, hitting the gym, but that scale just, it won't move. Well, this deep dive is definitely for you. We're looking at this really structured system, the 18-10-841, that claims pretty big results, like 7 kilos in 21 days, but without all the usual deprivation.
Yeah, it does sound a bit like magic, doesn't it? But the thinking behind it, it's actually quite logical. It flips the script, really. Well, it argues the problem isn't really about your willpower failing. It's more about the structure of your day and, well, how aligned your body is internally.
Right, that structure piece.
Yeah.
That seems key. Because why do so many diets fail? Even when you're putting in maximum effort, it feels like your body just fights back sometimes.
It does fight back. And that's actually a really old biological response. When you restrict calories too much for too long, your body doesn't think, oh, diet. It thinks, oh, famine. And that triggers a stress response. Your metabolism slows right down to save energy, and you get a spike in the stress hormone, cortisol.
Cortisol, I know that one. That's the one linked to belly fat, isn't it?
Precisely. High cortisol basically tells your body, store fat, especially around the middle. We might need it. And if your blood sugar's all over the place too, which happens with weird eating patterns, then your body just gets really stubborn about using its fat reserves for energy. It just holds on to them, no matter how healthy you think you're eating.
Okay, so this 18-10-841 system, it's shifting the focus completely then. It's not about starving the body, but more about restoring its natural rhythm, using timing, rest, hydration.
Exactly. It's about calibration. Think of your body less like something you need to restrict and more like a high-performance engine that needs fine-tuning. You need the timing right.
Right, like optimizing a smartphone, not just unplugging it. Okay, I like that analogy.
Yeah, and this system, the 18-10-841, that's the tuning mechanism. Those numbers provide the structure.
Okay, let's unpack the system then. 5 numbers, 5 pillars. The first 3 seem focused on metabolism and movement. Let's start with the big one, 18. What's the 18?
The 18 is 18 hours of fasting each day. So basically, you squeeze all your eating into a 6-hour window, usually like late morning to early evening.
18 hours. That sounds intense, especially if you're not used to fasting. How does that work without feeling constantly hungry?
Well, the structure itself helps manage the hunger over time, but the why behind it is metabolic. That long break, 18 hours, it lets your digestive system properly rest. And crucially, your insulin levels drop way down.
Okay, lower insulin means?
It means your body stops waiting for quick energy from food and has to switch to plan B, burning stored fat. That's fat oxidation. You're essentially retraining your body to use fat efficiently. And some research suggests this longer rest might even kick off some mild cellular cleanup processes too, so benefits beyond just calories.
Interesting. Okay, pillar 2 is the 10,000 steps. We hear that number everywhere. How is it used specifically here?
It's not about killing yourself in the gym. It's about low-intensity, consistent activity throughout the day. Keeps the metabolism sort of humming along gently.
So it protects the benefits of the fast.
Yeah, exactly. It improves circulation, helps keep your cells sensitive to insulin. The key word is consistency, not intensity. Walk more, take the stairs, maybe add a light-weighted vest if you want, but just keep moving steadily. It stops your body from going back into that sluggish, energy-saving mode.
Got it. And the third pillar in this first group is the 8 hours of sleep. This feels like the one people sacrifice first when they're trying to do more.
Oh, absolutely. And it's probably the biggest mistake. The 8 hours, uninterrupted if possible, is the linchpin. Skipping it basically undermines the whole system.
Why is it so critical?
Because sleep is when your body resets key hormones. Ghrelin, which makes you feel hungry, and leptin, which makes you feel full. Get enough sleep, those stay in balance. It also helps with muscle repair. And importantly, it lowers that stress hormone, cortisol, that we talked about.
Back to cortisol.
Yep. If you're sleep deprived, your cortisol stays high, and it directly interferes with your body's ability to burn fat effectively. So all that fasting, all those steps, they become much less effective without proper recovery. The whole system relies on that rest period.
Okay, so 18-10-8, that's the engine. Metabolism, movement, recovery. What about the last 2 numbers, the 4 and the 1? They seem more about fine-tuning.
Yeah, you could say that. They play these quieter but really decisive roles in keeping things stable and maintaining progress, stability and maintenance.
So pillar 4 is the 4 liters of water a day. Wow, that's a lot of water. Any tips on actually managing that? Sounds like you'd be constantly running to the bathroom.
It is a serious amount, but it's vital. Proper hydration actually helps manage your appetite naturally. It reduces bloating, helps digestion. But a key thing is mild dehydration often feels like hunger. So by hitting that 4-liter target, you kind of suppress those false hunger signals. Makes the 18-hour fast feel, well, more manageable. And people often make it more palatable, infusing water with herbal teas, stuff like that. Turns it into more of a ritual.
Okay, that makes sense. And the final pillar, number 5, the 1.
The 1 stands for 1 gram of protein per kilogram of your body weight. This one's non-negotiable if you want to lose the right kind of weight.
Meaning fat, not muscle.
Exactly. When you're fasting in a calorie deficit, your body might start breaking down muscle for energy if it doesn't get enough protein. Protein protects that lean mass, which is what burns calories, remember. Plus, protein keeps you feeling fuller for longer, and it actually costs your body more energy just to digest it. That's the thermic effect.
But getting 1 gram per kilo inside that tight 6-hour eating window, that sounds challenging too.
It definitely requires planning. You need nutrient-dense meals, and you really have to prioritize getting those protein sources in early during your eating window. Can't just graze randomly.
Right. Structure again. Now, you mentioned something about a ritual before the eating window starts, a kind of kickstart.
Yes. There's this little morning routine to encourage fat burning right away. It typically involves taking a teaspoon of MCT oil.
MCT oil, medium-chain triglycerides.
Yep. Sometimes it's paired with these little cubes made from things like turmeric, ginger, peppercorns, anti-inflammatory stuff. The main point of the MCT oil is that it helps your body produce ketones quickly.
Ketones. Okay, refresh my memory. What's the benefit there?
Ketones are basically an alternative fuel source your body makes from fat. So by having that MCT oil first thing, you're giving your brain and body this clean, fat-derived energy right at the start of your fast. It helps you jump straight into fat-burning mode, like a high-octane boost for the engine.
Gotcha. Okay, so we have the 5 numbers, 18, 10, 8, 4, 1. We have the kickstart, but why 21 days specifically? What actually happens day to day during that time? When do you feel the changes?
That's a great question. It touches on habit formation. 21 days seems to be the sweet spot. It's long enough for your body to start adapting to these new rhythms, to kind of calibrate itself. But it's maybe not so long that you burn out or your body starts fighting back too hard.
So it's about building consistency.
Exactly. The brain starts forming these new connections, these neural cues. It learns that the timing, the movement, the rest, they lead to predictable results, not stress. You're building these reliable feedback loops in your biology.
So paint me a picture. What does a typical day look like during those 3 weeks?
It's pretty rhythmic. Morning starts with that MCT oil ritual. Then you've got your fasting period. Your eating window is strict, say 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., just an example.
And during that window, focus on protein.
Yep. Then throughout the whole day, it's steady hydration, hitting those 4 liters, and consistent movement, getting those 10,000 steps in, but gently. And then the evenings are really geared towards that recovery goal. Dimming screens, winding down, making sure you get those solid 8 hours of sleep.
Okay. And the results, you said they're subtle at first, more internal.
Very much so. The first week, days 1 to 7, that's mostly adjustment. Energy might go up and down a bit. Hunger cues start shifting later. Your body's basically figuring out how to use fat as its main fuel.
And then by the middle, day 14 or so.
That's often when people report a noticeable shift. A kind of steadiness kicks in. Blood sugar feels more stable, no more afternoon crashes. Mental clarity often improves, maybe because cortisol is starting to settle down. You feel less frantic about food.
Ah, that's interesting. The hormonal shift starts to become apparent.
Right. It's like your appetite hormones, stress hormones, metabolism hormones, they're starting to work together instead of fighting each other.
And by the end, week 3.
By then, the system should be running more smoothly. Cravings often fade because your energy is more constant. People report less bloating, digestion feels better, and sleep is genuinely more restful. The big difference compared to just, say, crash dieting, is that this rhythm focuses on limiting decisions rather than just food. It stops your body interpreting your daily routine as a constant stressor.
Okay, so wrapping this up. The core idea of this 18-10-8-4-1 system isn't just another diet. It's really a framework for aligning everything: movement, rest, eating times, hydration. It's about working with your body's natural rhythms instead of fighting against them with sheer willpower.
That's the essence of it, yeah.
Yeah.
It turns weight management from this constant battle into more of a programmable, sustainable feedback loop.
Makes it sound less like a struggle and more like tuning an instrument.
That's a good way to put it. Sustainable change often comes when something becomes a routine, a predictable system, not just a temporary effort. By focusing on hitting these 5 numbers consistently, you're kind of programming your biology for balance.
Now, we absolutely have to include a caution here. The standard advice is always to talk to your doctor before starting something like this, right? Especially structured fasting.
Oh, absolutely essential, particularly if you have any underlying health conditions, blood sugar issues, hormonal disorders, nutrient deficiencies. You need proper medical guidance first. This isn't for everyone without checking.
Definitely. But as a final thought then, what's the big takeaway for someone listening?
Well, maybe think about this. If sustainable change really does depend more on creating these predictable biological routines, hitting those 5 numbers consistently rather than just relying on, painful restriction, how much easier could lasting change become if you focus on programming your body for balance first?
Precision over punishment, perhaps. Definitely something to mull over. Fascinating stuff. Thanks for breaking that down. Stay curious, everyone, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.